Good afternoon to all. Chairman, panelists, ladies and gentlemen. I would touch upon three points only. First one, in continuation of what I was speaking yesterday, I would never stop the importance of curbing the excess effort in the form of number of fishing vessels, the large size of the craft and the gear. And because of the stagnation of catches or even depletion of catches, and how importantly we should address the juvenile landings, there should be a policy, there should be a national legislation. If one state prevents juvenile landings, then naturally the people tend to go to the neighboring state for selling. So this has to be there. And the second point I would like to highlight is it's a sort of very narrow or based on scientific studies, the judicious use of synthetics in the fishing environment. That is, I would take an example of, again, Persian, which I am most familiar. 1,000-meter Persian is made of some 2.5 tons of nylon webbing, some 7,000 plastic floats, some 5,000 nearly lead sinkers, 150 rings, and some 600 kilograms of ropes. That is a total of 4.5 tons. So this has a maximum life of 2 to 3 years, and every year fishermen keep changing the panels and all that. So this, fortunately, in our country, in most of the areas, there is a sort of buyback of second-hand webbing for use in some other areas. This is good enough, but most of the, sometimes waste webbings are thrown here and there, causing a lot of concern to the environment. And this has to be looked into in the form of issuing some guidelines or policies. I would like to stress is the FRP boats, which are becoming increasingly popular because of the advantages of FRP. We know it has got a longer life, it is maneuverability, so many advantages are there. But for making an FRP boat of 22 meter size, you require 17,000 kilogram of FRP. And FRP, as you know, after 25 years of life, it again remains in the environment. It is never destroyed. So this causes a lot of plastic pollution in the environment. And finally, this ends up in the sea and is accumulated in the land. And so many studies have been conducted, if not in India, in other places. We have some studies showing that 46,000 pieces of plastic are found in every square mile of the sea, and that is an UNEP study. And studies conducted elsewhere show that about 500 species of fish were studied, and 36% have microplastics in the gastrointestinal tract. Also, polystyrene content was found, and 8 out of 14 species contain this thermocol content, which is used largely in fishing. And semi-synthetic materials were also found. Closer home, we have a study like we have 5 kilograms in every 10 hectares. So all this has to be addressed carefully. Another area that, the third point that I would like to stress is the importance of gear marking. We do not have any policy or guidelines for gear marking in our country, which is followed by many of the developed and some of the developing nations. We do not have a tagging system for gear which shows what type of gear, how much is the length of gear, nothing is there. And FAO has been working on this right from the 1990s, and now they are formulating guidelines. So I think thinking ahead, we should be thinking of all this. This is for the gear marking. Studies are important because a lot of gear are abandoned, lost, or discarded in the sea. And this abandoned, lost, and discarded can be traced only if gear marking is there. And in USA itself, $250 million worth of lobsters are caught in ghost fishing because the gear are simply abandoned or discarded into the sea, and this goes around causing destruction to a lot of aquatic animals, fishes, and even seabirds. So this has to be looked into. Many countries have conducted studies, though not in India. We do not have studies on. So the research institutions should be or will be taking up studies on that. And the health of the aquatic environment and health of the fish stocks are most important, and some policies have to be